What's up, y'all? So, in today's video, I am talking about 5 things that surprised us aboard Celebrity Reflection. So, first thing, the crowd and overall vibe. Now, we weren't really, didn't know what to expect coming into selling Celebrity for the first time. So, my mom had been on Celebrity a few times and was trying to tell me, like, hey, it's not going to be a lot of kids on board. So, just, know that the kids may not have like any, playmates in the camp or maybe a little bored. And I was like, okay. So we were totally surprised that there were quite a few kids on board. Not a lot like what I've seen on other lines, of course, but there were quite a few kids for my kids to play with in the camp at sea. Now, we did go in March around our spring break. So I'm sure other kids are probably on spring break as well. So that could have contributed to the amount of families that I saw on board. Now, I did see some families with younger kids, like toddlers. I saw a few infants, but not a huge amount of families, but enough for my kids to have other kids to play with. The overall vibe of the ship was just really chill, even for it to be a 3-day sailing. It wasn't like a party sailing. It was very relaxing. Um, Not a lot going on, but that was okay for me. Like I wanted it to be relaxed and I didn't want to go from this activity to that activity to this activity. It was just an overall chill vibe um, on board. There were a lot of different groups on board. I saw a lot of bachelorette parties. I saw a lot of friend groups. Um, of course, some families, like I said. So a lot of different um, people on board in different groups. And it wasn't, it was a very chill vibe overall. The next thing that surprised us was the food. So the food was really good in the buffet. Now, the dining room was just okay. We only went to the dining room one night and it was just okay. We didn't go back the rest of the sailing. But the dining room, I'm sorry, the buffet had a lot of Indian dishes and a lot of Italian dishes that I really enjoyed. So I typically gravitate to the Indian fare on cruises. I love Indian food. So I typically gravitate to that anyway. Also, they had a really good salad bar too. They had so many assortments of salads. So we ate in the buffet all of our meals after we tried the dining room that first night. Then the rest of our meals were eaten in the buffet. One thing that I love that I have not found on other ships, and you guys can tell me if some of the other poolside grills have this. Um, Turkey burgers. So at the Mass Grill on Celebrity Reflection, they had turkey burgers and veggie burgers. Now, I don't eat beef, so typically I don't go to the grills because they never have an alternate to beef burger. So was really excited to see that they had a turkey burger and a veggie burger, and the turkey burger was pretty good. So they got extra points for me for having that turkey burger. The next thing, they had a lot of quiet spaces on board, a lot of spaces for you to just go and maybe have a private conversation with someone. I found several spots for me to go and read in peace. Like nobody was walking through, wasn't a lot of foot traffic going on. So I really liked that they had so many different spaces for you to go, whether it was by yourself or with the group, to just kind of sit and be away from the crowd um, without interruption. The next thing, the overall ship condition, that really surprised us being an older ship. That ship was kept very well. Of course, it had some wear and tear. There were a few spots in our room, which I pointed out in our embarkation day video, some wear and tear, but overall, the ship was very clean. You could tell that they continuously make upkeep on the ship. Um, Beautifully decorated. Like I said, the ship condition really surprised us because we've been on older ships before and they were not kept as immaculate as the Reflection. And my last thing that really surprised us was the embarkation and debarkation process. Now, embarkation was quick, smooth, it wasn't confusing. Staff was very helpful in the terminal, getting you where you need to be. I think it might have taken 20 minutes from the time we were dropped off to the time we um, actually were walking on board the ship. So very seamless. And debarkation, they do not play when it comes to debarkation. When that when they say you will be off that ship at 9 a.m., you will be off that ship at 9 a.m. We had to be out of our cabin by 7:45 that morning where we were debarking, and our room steward was coming to our room at 7:42 to see if we had left yet. And so we were actually walking out at that time. And so from the time we walked out of our room, 7:42, we were walking through customs at 8:10. And that was, we waited at the elevator trying to get an elevator. Of course, that didn't work out. So we were able to, we walked down 3 flights of stairs with our luggage. Luckily, we were not up higher than where we were. We only had to walk down from 8 to 5, so it wasn't that bad. So factoring in all that time of waiting and walking off the ship was 15, 20, maybe 20 minutes. And like I said, there were no lines when we were getting off. Like we got down to 5 where it was time to get off, and it was very seamless. Staff was directing you where to go. There were no pile-ups. People didn't seem confused. Very, very, very smooth process. So again, we didn't know what to expect, and we were pleasantly surprised aboard the Reflection. So if you guys have sailed the Reflection, let me know in the comments. Was this your experience as well? Tell me what surprised you on Celebrity and the Reflection if you've been on that ship. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and hope you found anything in this video helpful. If you have, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Barnes on the Go for more travel content and travel tips for families and couples and individuals. Thanks for watching.